Hey guys, it's Jen with Card Zen by Jen, and we are making another card today. This is more of a masculine card with a little bit of a grunge look. I hope you like it. And matching envelope, of course, again, that grunge look going on. So I got my inspiration for colors from the Color Coach. So we're using the Pecan Pie, the Old Olive, and the Secret Sea together. I would not normally have used those colors, I don't think, if I would not have used that for inspiration. So here we have, you're going to need a piece of your Old Olive, Pecan Pie, and Secret Sea. So put that aside. The stamp set is Nature Symphony. We're using You're a Great Guy. We're also going to use that grunge one. But we're also using the dies with this. So let me pull out the stamps that we're using here. Grab these. And grab that grunge one. I'm not sure. It kind of looks like tire tracks to me. I'm not quite sure. And somewhere here, of course, they're all like invisible, right? They're all clear, which makes it hard to see. I'll put that back on there. Put that aside. And then our dies, let's pull out of here. We're just going to be using one die from this, and we're using these large leaves. I'll set that aside. We are going to use one more die set. If you don't have it, don't worry about it. Use something else or simply rip the paper, but I'm using these deckled rectangles. And we're going to be using the third in from the largest. Is the one that we're grabbing today. Again, if you don't have it, just rip the paper. It's no big deal. No big deal. Set everything aside. So let me cut this. The magic of television. So that you don't have to wait for me. So you have your card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And there's your card base. And then we are going to have the envelope, of course. Our piece of Secret Sea, which is 5 by 3 3/4. And then our die cut of basic white from that deckled rectangle. There it is. And then we have our die cut of our Old Olive for the leaves. And then another piece of basic white, that's going to be your inside piece. I like to do mine 4 3/4 by 3 1/2, but the piece for sentiment is 3/4 by about 2 1/2. We are going to need our Mossy Meadow and our silicone mat. So we're going to be sponging on our leaves just to kind of grunge them up a little bit, give them just a little bit more depth so that it's not just all one color. So I'm going to put a couple of drops of this Mossy Meadow on my silicone mat. My mat has gotten a lot of love, can you see? And let me grab this sponge. This comes in like a circular thing, and I cut them into like 6 or 8 pieces, like little wedges of cheese, really. Tap off however much you want onto your scrap paper, and then just sponge onto your leaves. However much or however little you want. Again, you're just kind of grunging them up slightly so that they're not so flat. There we go. There, that looks good. All right, so that silicone mat is really messy until you wash it. So we'll set that aside and set our leaves aside. And then while we're stamping, let's go ahead and take that deckled rectangle. We are going to grab a block with that grunge piece on it. Again, it looks like a tire track to me. I don't know what to tell you. And we are going to grab our Pecan Pie ink. Let's open that up. So it doesn't matter which direction you put this. So we're going to stamp full strength, and then I just turn it around and stamp again. So now it's like a stamping off. So you've got one full strength color, one stamped off color. again, it creates that depth, that level of not everything being so flat. And do that as much as you want. There's no right or wrong way for this. I'm just going to add a little bit down here. There we go. Okay. That works. Well, you know what? Let's just do our envelope while we're here. So the envelope's a little bit different. So I'm going to stamp full strength and just part of it off the side. And now I'm going to stamp off on my scrap piece. And just keep doing that, stamp off, and then do on there again. And super. Never send a naked envelope. Never ever send a naked envelope. They're just boring. We don't like them. All right, so let's bring this back over. And let's go ahead and do our inside piece. I almost forgot. So we'll do just along the bottom of that inside piece. Again, I'll do a couple of full strength, and then I'm just going to stamp off again and get that lighter look. Again, no right or wrong. That's what makes this card so easy. Absolutely. All right, so let's start putting, oh, you know what? Yep. Put our secret C on for our sentiment while we're here. And grab that. So the secret C, we're going to stamp that on that 3/4 inch piece. I love this color. This is like my favorite in color. So the in colors come out for 2 years at a time, and then they get retired. If we're lucky, Stampin' Up! Will keep a few of them, and hopefully they'll keep this one. All right, so sticking things together, we're going to take, add some adhesive to the back of our secret C. And add that to our card front. We're going to take our deckled rectangle piece, just add some. You can pop this up with dimensionals if you would like. That's fine. And then we're going to bring in our leaves. I have no fingernails right now, so I can't pick up anything. Just add a little bit of glue to the back of them. Don't go crazy with the glue. You're not putting together a Boeing 737. Just a little bit of glue. Lay it down very gently, and however you want to do it. I like to have just a little bit of that leaf coming off of the white, and then just tap it down. Give it a second to dry. We're going to take our sentiment, and we're just going to take our paper snips and just snip at an angle on that side. Get rid of that. And let's grab dimensionals. There they are. Grab the dimensionals, put a couple of dimensionals on the back of that, and pop that up. And then we're just going to adhere that to the front. There we go. All right, and then, yeah, let's add these embellishments. These are the faux bronze pentagons. I like them for like a masculine card or a woodsy card. Take your pick tool, and we'll add 3 of those on there. The magic number is 3, so when you're adding embellishments, they say to add 3. And doesn't want to stay on there. There we go. Okay. And then the last thing that we need to do is just add our inside piece. So you have a card that says, you know, for a great guy, and you can finish that off to be a happy birthday or thinking of you or sympathy or whatever you need it to be later. And that's it. Clean up this mess. Again, I don't use scrap paper all the time, but this is one of those cards that gets a little messy, so it's time to bring in the scrap paper. And there you go. There's your card with your matching envelope. I hope you enjoyed it. Happy stamping, and you'll find all of the dimensions on my blog.